Hi guys and welcome to Dial It Up. Tonight we're going to be talking about the combat ability Carry. Okay, so I'm just going to start off by actually reading out Carry because it is quite a lengthy power, one of the bigger ones on the PAC. So, when moving as a result of being given an action, this character may carry one friendly character. When this ability is used, modify this character's speed value by -2 until the end of the action. The following characters can't be carried: larger characters, multi-base characters, characters holding an object, and characters with any of the following combat symbols: booted transporter, flight, flight transporter, dolphin transporter, and duo. To be carried, the friendly character must be adjacent to this character at the beginning of this character's action. When this character ends its movement for the action, the carried character must be placed in a square adjacent to this character. While being carried, a carried character is not adjacent to any other character, nor can it draw a line of fire until placed at the end of this character's movement for the action. A character which has been carried this turn can't be given an action or other than a free action until the beginning of the next turn. So like I said, that is a lot of text, and we're going to go over it bit by bit as to what this does. Now, Carry is a combat ability that comes from the flight symbol, the little wing symbol, and the speed, but you can also get it from other sources, be it resources, relics, certain characters just have it as a trait or a special power. So in order to carry a character, you must start adjacent to them, and then whoever is doing the carry, in this situation it's just Supergirl is going to carry Blink, and all they have to do is moved of their own action. So it can be a power action, a ranged combat action, a actual move action, any type of action, doesn't matter. As long as they are moving, they can then carry the character. Now when they are moving, they are going to modify their speed value by -2, but this will also come into any other modifications. So if they're leaving hindering, or which halves your movement, or if they're doing running shot or charge, which is going to half your movement, you also have to take into the replace them modify calculation that you normally would with the speed value. So they have to start adjacent. They can be in any of the 8 squares adjacent to them, and then when you're carrying them, they're not actually going to be in any specific square on the map. However, it has recently been clarified that they are still on the map, so it's not going to affect any powers that say when the character is not on the map. They changed this just around the convention season in 2015. It also helps with the ID characters for saying that they're not in a specified square. So once you figure out your movement, once you move to wherever you want to move, then you place them any of the adjacent squares. Now, if you were moving into a spot that, say, was elevated or had blocking, you have to make sure that at the beginning of the movement, that character is adjacent, and at the end of the movement, that character is adjacent. So you wouldn't be able to place them on a higher elevation, or if there's 2 pieces of blocking in between, you wouldn't be able to place them on the other side because that would not be considered adjacent for placing them down. Now, during the movement itself, the characters are not there. They're on the map but not on the map. So in particular, we have Supergirl here who has hypersonic speed. Now, hypersonic speed allows you to take the attack while you're actually moving. You're not ending your movement. The carry to place your character will be at the very end of the movement. So hypersonic speed is one of those ones where you're actually doing the attacking in between while you're moving. So if the character had empower or enhancement or anything that will affect you, PD team ability, Hydra team ability, something that'll affect the character that is either attacking or the character being attacked, that's not going to happen during hypersonic because they won't be placed. However, power like running shot or charge, because you finish your movement and then make your attack, you're going to finish your movement, place your character, and then make your attack. Now, characters that can't be carried, larger characters. So right now I have Supergirl is a standard size character, but if I was to say put a giant in there, she can't carry the giant because he's larger, and multi-base characters can't be carried. So if I was to put Lockjaw in there, she can't carry Lockjaw because he's multiple squares. Also combat symbols, so any of the transporters, the booted transporter, the flighted transporter, the dolphin transporter, flighted characters themselves, and duo characters. And then the other weird restriction is you can't carry a character that is carrying an object. Now, Supergirl has super strength, so she could carry an object and a character, but she wouldn't be able to carry a character that is carrying an object. Apparently, that is just too much weight for her. Now that covers all of the basics of carry. Now, they actually just recently, over this fall of 2015, added in something size related for carry, and that is now used to be something that was just added in for tiny characters. I have Deadpool or Dogpool here. He is tiny, where originally you could carry a tiny character and it wouldn't modify your speed, so you wouldn't be -2, and you could also use character or carry regularly. So in the old rules, I could have Supergirl carry Blink and Dogpool at the same time, with only Blink minusing my speed value there. So when the size rules got updated in the fall, they added this intrinsic ability to all sizes. So now, not only does a standard character able to carry a tiny character for free, but a giant can now carry a standard character for free, and a colossal, breaking the Superman Batman robot, sorry Jason, can now carry a giant for free. Now, one of the other things that is added into this is that it's regardless of combat symbols. So in a situation like this where Supergirl's hanging out with Crypto is a flyer, normally that wouldn't be allowed, but because he's smaller than her, she's ignoring that combat ability, and now she's able to carry him without minusing her speed. The other thing I wanted to touch on was certain characters have special types of carry. It's why I actually have Blink out here. Blink's carry is that she's allowed to carry characters and ignore their speed combat symbols. So Blink could actually carry Supergirl. Normally she wouldn't be allowed to because Supergirl is a flyer, but because Blink's carry is ignoring the speed, she can carry Supergirl. She could also carry a booted transporter or a dolphin transporter or a flying transporter. So we have Lockjaw, and now Lockjaw has a special carry where he ignores all combat symbols. So that would also allow him to ignore the flight characters, the transporters, as well as the duo, because someone like Blink, who's only looking at speed, duo is a attack combat symbol, so Lockjaw is allowed to carry a duo character. Now, one of those things where it's saying you're going to ignore the combat ability is that you're not going to ignore size. Size is just something that happens with a character. Also, the base size. So a multi-base character can never be carried. So far, there is nothing in the game, no special powers so far that allows you to carry a multi-base character. So even if the Abominable Snowman, who is giant, who is allowed to carry standard sized characters, which Lockjaw is, still cannot carry Lockjaw because he's just too big. He takes up more than one square. He's a multi-base character.
Don't let her tell you anything. You're big-boned Lockjaw.
He's a good puppy. He's a good puppy. So that's another thing where the other way around, Lockjaw wouldn't be able to carry the Abominable Snowman, because even though he is giant and Lockjaw is ignoring the combat symbols, the combat symbol still doesn't change the fact that he's giant. So it's kind of a weird, it trips up a lot of people. It's one of the more questions abilities on the WES is Lockjaw with ignoring, or anybody with a special character that ignores all combat abilities. and whether or not they can carry a character that is bigger. And essentially it's just no, because even though they're ignoring that combat ability, that character is still that size, and size can't be ignored. Last thing, and I did mention it with the when I was explaining it through the pack explanation is there.
Beating up a
Once a
bottle.
character has been carried, it cannot be given a non-free action. It can be given as many free actions as you would like, because you can always be given non-free actions unless you're up against a green battery. But you're going to carry your character in, and now Dogpool can't attack. He can do anything else. Use your imagination on that. You can do a perplex, an outwit, any sort of sidestep or free action, but once you have been carried, you can't be given a non-free action. That is something that was probably one of the very first game changes in this game, was to make that part of the rules, is that you cannot attack or be given any sort of non-free action after you've been carried. Alright, so that was carry. Hopefully that gives you a better idea of the special types of carry and what you actually need to do in order to carry, and the sort of abilities that mix with carry, which is basically everything. The only thing that gets weird on there is hypersonic and when you're actually going to drop your ally. I should also mention that you can only carry friendly characters unless you have a special power that lets you carry opposing characters, which right now I can only think of one. There's a Juggernaut that just grabs people and just swings them through.
Zombie Green Goblin.
Oh, apparently the Zombie Group Goblin. Oh, right, his glider allows you to pick up opposing characters and go crazy with them. Anywho, if there's anything you guys think I didn't go over, questions, comments, concerns, down below, and we'll see you next time on another episode of Dial Up.
Married with Clix is brought to you in part by MajesticCCG.com. Check out the new premium site with MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders. Check the link below, trust me. Trying to remember that for me talking? Not gonna help. You'll get awesome articles at $3 a month, with the first month being free, from amazing writers such as Paris Gordon, Easton Brock, Aaron Cantu. I'm even going to be contributing occasionally, and if you're familiar with the Metal Lab, check out some of Mike Payne's articles. So, check it out again, MajesticCCG.com/Apex-Insiders for your look into the minds of some of the greats.